So I've been in the planning world for about 10 years. I've been on both the private side and as a planning officer, so I've seen firsthand what permitted development can do to a property. I was at a council long enough to see the kind of transition of a property and how one simple application that you wouldn't think otherwise of completely changed the kind of investment prospects of that property. So the tips coming out of this video are a direct experience of that. And if you want to learn more about how the planning process can unlock thousands of pounds of value of your next property, then click the link below to learn more. Hi everyone, this is Ian with another video, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the 20 plus ways to never speak to a planning officer ever again. It's one of the things that people struggle with most. You know, when you talk to a council, talking to a planning officer, they change their mind, they take too long. It's one of the biggest frustrations with the whole planning system, and I'm here to reveal that there are so many ways that you can avoid ever speaking to a planning officer ever again, so that you can finally get the certainty that you're looking for through the planning process. And of course, what I'm talking about is permitted development. Now, commonly referred to as PD. PD is something that people have heard of the term PD. They think they understand what it is, but really not a lot of people understand exactly what you can do with PD. A lot of people think, oh, it's just kept within the boundaries of a house, so extensions and things like that. But there are so many ways. In fact, there are 20 different parts that will allow you to do not only changes to your house if you're a developer, but also blocks of flats, agricultural holdings, and so many different things that are available to you today. That is probably one of the greatest opportunities for small real estate developers that they've been in at least the last 10 years. With houses, there are opportunities to extend your house by 3 meters, 4 meters, 6 meters or 8 meters. Now that's not to say that you can do up to 8 meters in every circumstance. There are conditions within tell you whether or not, will tell you how far out you can go from your property. But that is a huge opportunity alone. I mean, if you can extend your house by 8 meters, I mean, think of the value that you can add there. The next one is adding 2 stories to a dwelling house. Again, I'll caveat all of these by saying there are conditions that tell you whether or not you can or can't do something, but the opportunity is there. And as long as you're certain that you can do these things, you can submit your application. You don't actually ever have to speak to a planning officer if you don't want to. So that whole thing of negotiating, you know, what are you thinking, all that kind of stuff is out the window. It doesn't matter. You either have permission or you don't. The next one is loft conversions. So there's opportunities to enlarge or make alterations to the roof of a dwelling house. And the other one is a huge one, is outbuildings. You can construct an outbuilding, which the term is ancillary to the enjoyment of the dwelling house, which basically is stopping people from building an outhouse in their back garden and turning it into a flat. So you can build a gym, a home office, a swimming pool, maybe. So yeah, all those provisions are open to you, and those are huge things. I know a lot of people, the way of working right now is that a lot of people want to be able to work from home, not only, you know, in their ground floor, but if they have a family, they need the space, they can build a home office in their back garden, which is a great opportunity for so many homeowners and investors who are looking to develop their properties. Blocks of flats. So if you have a detached block of flats, you can go up to 2 stories. That is also the case with commercial buildings. So commercial buildings, what is Class E, which used to be B1 but is now Class E. You can go up to 2 stories. New flats on houses. So if you have a house, you can go up to 2 stories for new flats. There's also changes of use, which is a huge one. So changes of use open up so many opportunities beyond just developing, going up or down or building out, and then, you know, from a house. Changes of use is a real game changer, and I think this is why this is the kind of biggest opportunity for people to, you know, find value in property if you know how to find it. And permitted development, quite honestly, if you know how to use it, then, you know, it's a huge opportunity. You have such a advantage over other investors. So the huge big one is changes of use to commercial to residential. Commercial is listed as Class E. So this was kind of billed as kind of the revival of the high street, because high street businesses are dying. There's town centres that are just folding. So the provision was put in the within PD to kind of revive the high street through putting residential in. Now I know a lot of councils are nervous about this, so quite a few councils are considering putting an Article 4 direction to prevent it, because they see it as the death of their high street. So that's a huge one. So Class E includes retail, which is why it was billed as the revival of the high street. Includes retail, and it also includes office. So any property that you see that you think would be suitable to conversion for residential, that's in a commercial use, you have the opportunity to change the use to that. Again, there are provisions within that, so just know that there is the opportunity to change the use. You have to go through certain steps, but as long as you meet those, hit those steps and do what's required, then you can get permission. The other changes of use are things like laundrette and betting office to a residential, a casino or amusement arcade. So casinos and both of those amusement arcades, they're things that a lot of high streets used to have, and that's an opportunity to change to residential. Storage and distribution to residential, that's to me a huge one. So that's the use class for that is B8. So think of a UPS or a Amazon warehouse or things like that. You have the opportunity, so buildings like that, buildings that companies like that use, the opportunity to change to residential there. The other one is light industrial, so uses like a carpenter, you can change to residential. That use class is called B1C. So there are so many provisions within the permitted development order that allow you to build so many flats, and that's why it's an opportunity. Every kind of avenue is pointing towards more housing. You think of the bigger picture here, more housing in the country is needed. That's why these the government has set up these provisions to basically sidestep the council. They realise that there's a bottleneck at councils. They don't have the resources to deal with kind of planning applications as quickly as the country needs. So they've set up these provisions to allow you to build without their input, essentially. And not only does this avoid you talking to a planning officer, in a lot of circumstances it also avoids the need for consultation, which is a huge part of a planning permission. You don't need to consult, which means those 21 days aren't open for everyone in the neighbourhood to object to your planning application and possibly ruin your chances of getting permission. If you study permitted development well and know it, then your speed of decision is going to be a huge factor in your next investment. And if you can use the knowledge that you can get from this video and other resources on permitted development, then you will be able to go in with confidence, make a bid or buy it, knowing that you can develop based on permitted development when someone else might not know that. Because even though everyone knows PD, what they don't know is that PD has changed within the last 2 years. A lot of these provisions that I've outlined now have only happened within the last year, less than a year ago. I think it was August last year. So just get to know it, get the edge on your next investment, and really utilise PD and take advantage of the greatest opportunity in the planning world anyway of the last 10 years. I hope you found that video useful. Don't forget to like and comment on this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.